Sometimes you have to take stock in your life and you just take a deep breath and you just have to really ask yourself, do I have bad taste in movies? Let's find out. According to Rotten Tomatoes, I have realized that I have a bit of a collection that has ranged under 20% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I like to share those with you. Here we go. Starting up from the least worst to the most, I guess. We're gonna go with The Happening. Now, I like all of these movies that are on this list, so I bought them, and probably because they were cheap too when I bought them. So, The Happening, good story, interesting. It was the first R-rated M. Night Shyamalan film, and you know, it had a lot of suspense to it. You know, when is this going to happen? Why is it happening? And whatnot. And then, magically it just kind of goes away, but then happens in a different country. But I like the characters, I like the actors in it, and this got a 18% on Rotten Tomatoes. Next up, we have The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. A lot of people didn't like this film. I liked it. I liked all the characters. I liked the aspect to it. It was based off of the comic book series of the same name as, The Invisible Man. What's his name? Yeah. Jekyll and Hyde, and a bunch of others. And I liked each character. Nemo from 50,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I liked them all. I liked all the characters. I liked the actors that portrayed them. I liked the way that the film was shot. And this video got a 17 on rating. Let's see. Let's skip over here to one of these. Is one of those three-parter. Three films in one. We got Ernest Scared Stupid, the Halloween special. I haven't seen it in a while, honestly. I always liked Ernest. You know, I thought all of his films were pretty good. The Saves Christmas one was probably his best one. Um, Ernest Scared Stupid, and I think it's one of those guilty pleasures. It's just one of those funny comedies that you just kind of like to watch once in a while. Uh, the Ernest Scared Stupid also got a 17 review, so okay. Pretty bad, but we'll save him for later. Next we got the Karate Kid Part 3. And I like this one too. I like the whole trilogy of the Karate Kid. I thought it was great. First one was probably the best, and then the second, and then the third. But I really never really had complaints about any of the Karate Kid movies. I thought they were really good. Karate Kid Part 3 got a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. Next up, we got Santa Claus Part 3. Part 3 was probably, I'll probably admit it was probably the worst one of the Santa Claus series. But, a trilogy is a trilogy, and you just kind of buy it for that purpose, really. And I like showing all of the Christmas movies that we have every year around Christmas time. It's just kind of our tradition, and I'm not gonna pass up on this just because it got a 15% rating on it. It's probably for the kids. Next up was a surprise for me. I got Priest. I really liked this movie. It was a great movie. The vampires were different, you know. It made the hybrid vampires into humans. That's why it was so. He was the first uh, human vampire to exist, and I liked all of the actors in it. I liked the action. I liked the aspect of the good versus evil, and the futuristic setting of it. I liked all of it. It was great. It got 15%. Moving on, another surprise for me was The One by Jet Li. Really like this movie. I've seen this movie a bunch of times. I love the whole um, story behind, why, um, why he goes through each portal, how he gets stronger by doing it. Why you have, why it's governed. The time portals are governed by, I guess, portal police. Um, I liked all the actors in it. I liked the story behind it. The fight sequences were really cool. But somehow The One got a 14% review on Rotten Tomatoes. That's very, very surprising to me. And so we got Never Ending Story Part 2. Now, Part 1, Part 2 was really bad. It also got a 14%. I liked Part 2. I liked both of them. I really enjoyed Part 2. The whole, each wish that you make, you lose a part of your memory. And it adds, a little, suspense to the storyline. Everything. I mean, it's not like, losing your horse in the swamp, but it was still a good story, and I liked that one. Next up, I've seen a bunch of times as well, and it's Wild Hogs. I like this. I like the storyline. I liked, all of the actors. Great, you know, great actors. Great comedy in it. It was the cop in it. Is the Dr. Cox from Scrubs. Love that guy. He's awesome. As I found nothing wrong with this movie, but apparently it got a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes. Just a little depressing there. Next up, I guess people won't like me for much for that one, but I have Without a Paddle. I've seen this a lot of times too. I like the comedy in it. I like the actors. I like the story of it. It's just maybe a guilty pleasure for me, and I like Without a Paddle, and that's had a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes as well. And I just dropped it. Next up, we have where are you? Oh, going back to Ernest. We have Ernest Goes to Jail, which had even a less rating than Ernest Scared Stupid. I honestly I don't remember watching Ernest Goes to Jail, but I have it, and here it is. Probably should watch the whole, all of them again, just to see really why everybody hated it so much. Ernest Goes to Jail got a 13% rating, while Ernest Scared Stupid got a 17. So slightly worse than his other movies. So tell me if you guys have seen that one. Spoil it for me. Next up, we got also a 13% rating. We got the RAPD, or the Rest in Peace Department. I like this movie a lot. Like I liked everything about it. I like Jeff Bridges. I like Ryan Reynolds. Kevin Bacon was in it. I like the aspect where since they're dead, they show up as different people to everybody else, so they don't look like, so nobody recognized them as they're dead. Kind of like the Like Me series. And I like the guns in it. I like the fighting. I like the story behind it. It was just really good to me. It's very enjoyable. Next up there, we got the Darkest Hour. Darkest Hour was basically about aliens going around, but they're invisible, and feed off of electricity or light and stuff like that. They can direct it as like weaponized. It turned out they're only invisible because they have like little like gyro uh, cars that spin so fast to make them invisible. I guess that's why it got such a bad rating on it. But it's still good. I liked it. And as you can see, I got it from Blockbuster when they were closing. So I got this quite a while ago. Um, but it's still a good movie. Watch it at least once. Tell me how it is. Tell me if you like it. This got a 12% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Next up, we got Let's Go to Prison. Also with Dax Shepard, was Without a Pedal. And there was almost another one that had like a 20 or 21% rating. That was Employee of the Month. I didn't make this list. You just skimmed by on that one. I like this one too. It's just, it's pretty funny, and just, yeah. I like that one. My wife hates it. But Let's Go to Prison got a 12% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Next up, both me and my wife really liked this movie, and we got Couples Retreat with Vince Vaughn and a lot of Jason Bateman, Jon Favreau, all those people. I liked the story. I liked the comedy behind it. It was just really good. Um, I liked the whole, the plot was good. I liked it a lot. And Couples Retreat got a 11%. So we just keep going down. Next up, we got the 4 film favorite of Batman. And you guess which one is on this list? It's Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin got an 11%, while all the others ranked much higher than that. It's just, yeah, everybody who's seen Batman and Robin just knows how off that whole movie was. Putting all the nipples on all the costumes and everything like that. And Mr. Freeze was ultimately probably the worst villain of the whole franchise. If they redid Mr. Freeze in a way that they did the comic books, more accurately, I would really enjoy him a lot. But the fact that they put Arnold Schwarzenegger in there, Mr. Freeze is not built. He's scrawny. He's a scientist, and he's just there to survive. Not Arnold Schwarzenegger like at all. So yeah, it's probably why it made 11%. Next up, we got Night at the Roxbury. I've watched this dozens of times. I still enjoy it. You know, just it is a good one. It is from the the Saturday Night Live skit, and they turned into a movie like they did with a bunch of other skits that they done. Night at the Roxbury also got an 11%, and I would still watch it. I would still laugh at it. I like this movie. I find nothing wrong with it. Next up, I don't know if I should be a little embarrassed to admit this one, but Grown Ups. Uh, I kind of liked Grown Ups. I haven't watched it in a while, but at least it's not Grown Ups 2, I guess. I don't know. You hate me for owning this one? Grown Ups got a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think a lot of people see why, but I probably would still watch this every once in a while, 6 months or so. I don't know. Next, we have Elektra. Elektra is probably one of the worst movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. After Daredevil, which I liked Daredevil, and then they decided to make Elektra, and it just pretty much flopped. The you know you had action sequences, you had that cool guy with all the tattoos that had all the animals like come out of his that had like a wolf tattoo, and he came to life and it attacked everybody and snakes and stuff, and I thought that was cool. But as for the overall storyline of it, I think they could have probably done a lot better. Elektra also got a 10%. Next up, I like this movie, and we got Envy. Envy got an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. I liked this movie. It's just a good comedy that has Jack Black and Ben Stiller and Christopher Walken in it. Christopher Walken was pretty funny in there too. He just had this little cameo like he does in Click and whatnot. Um, so I liked it. I see no reason to really hate this movie that much. It's for an 8%. I guess not everybody uh, found the same way. Second to last here, we have Premonition. I liked Premonition. I liked the storyline behind it. It's just she wakes up every day on a different day and has to figure out how to save her husband from dying on that certain day. And every day is different, and she has to follow the clues and try to alter the future so to keep her husband alive. And I like that. It was a good storyline. It was you know it got you captured into the movie, um, but also got 8%. It's kind of a shame. And this last one, we got the new guy. I like the new guy. I've seen him a bunch of times. I, I like the whole comedy in it. I like DJ Qualls. He's good in a lot of stuff that he's in. The most recent one was Z Nation. Um, so he played the main character in the new guy, and I like this one. I think everybody should see it at least once. It has so many cameos in this movie. It's just unbelievable. The new guy got 7% on Rotten Tomatoes. and that's kind of nuts. Um, so tell me what you guys thought about all the movies that were on this list. Do you own any of them? Do you like them? What what movies do you own? Look up your entire list of movies that you have. Look them all up on Rotten Tomatoes and tell me which one is the worst of the worst in your collection. I want to hear from you guys. Thanks for sitting through 21 minutes of this, and I'll see you all a little later. Have a good day.